The High Line was an effort to use public open space to reimagine the west side of Manhattan. The west side had been for 200 years an industrial neighborhood dominated by shipping and international trade. When I was born, 50,000 men worked the docks of New York. When the High Line project began, that number had dwindled to less than 100. The High Line became a way to reutilize that fabulous, old, magnificent industrial infrastructure to create a public open space to redefine a whole district. Two brilliant young men, Robert Hammond and Joshua David, created a community movement that energized an entire city to create a public space. The lessons for other places, I think, are very simple and very clear. If you have great and creative leadership, like Robert and Joshua, if the community can come together around a vision for reimagination and creativity, great open spaces can be created that redefine the future of American cities. The vision always was to create a place that New York could come together, like a great European piazza. The brilliant and marvelous Betsy Barlow Rogers said that as our cities have become more pastoral, our parks can become more urban. They can become places of gathering, places of activations, places of energy. And the High Line was designed from its outset to be the central gathering place of the far west side. Now, 3 million people a year come. It's one of the most visited places in the city of New York. It is the central piazza of the west side of Manhattan. We had phenomenal leadership, Mayor Bloomberg, Commissioner Burden, and the support of our city government allowed us to work collaboratively to create an open space that, like Central Park did in the last century, like Millennium Park has done in Chicago, created a new experience that people wanted to be part of. And so creative industries like Barry Diller's IEC, like Diane Van Furstenberg's fashion endeavors, they view the High Line as part of an environment that is consistent with the values of their company, the values of their employees. And so people want to work near the High Line. Tens of thousands of people have come to want to live near the High Line because it is an expression of open space. It embodies a set of artistic and cultural and civic values. Those values get infused in the DNA of companies. They get infused in the character of families. They're expressed in restaurants and fashion. And the open space becomes a way of defining a new destination, which is the magic of urban mixed use. Retail, office, residential, hotel merged together.
They are economic generators. A well-designed park that's done well in terms of its long-term maintenance and operations and financing and programming increases and enhances the real estate value of its adjacent areas. And so I think that's one critical piece of it, but that's not it. For downtown San Diego specifically, it's going to be all about creating the types of communities and mixed-use neighborhoods that we need to be a vibrant downtown, and the combinations of amenities that we include in the parks are really going to be key to that happening. So tot lots and cafes and recreation opportunities, etc. Largely speaking, it's this great term that I love called inhabiting infrastructure, which I actually didn't speak about per se, but it's this idea of how we can utilize what we have, whether it's streets, public right-of-ways, literally infrastructure, pieces of infrastructure like the lids, to transform them into linkages that can do so many different things, stitch neighborhoods together, stitch a downtown together, but very importantly for downtown, we want to ultimately achieve a 5-minute walk for any resident to a public open space, and those promenade concepts helps us to really achieve those. The fault lines are just a very elegant way of dealing with something that we have to deal with in San Diego. They haven't been designed that will be a part of the growth of the neighborhood, but they can really be a spine for activity and collection of ideas in the Upper East Village particularly. I mean, the High Line is such a phenomenal example of community-driven leadership and vision, and that's not something you can plan or program, but it's something that the process needs to genuinely allow for. And I think that actually ends up being the main point that I take away as far as the quality of design and soliciting talent from all over the world to contribute to the creation of the open spaces. I think that's always something that can only help. But that community leadership is really what makes an open space, as he pointed out, loved for, cared for, have a budget that it can actually be maintained and operated in a pristine way. And I'd love to see that become a part of our downtown San Diego's culture.